Hi. I love you. My name is Theodore Cottingham, and I appreciate the privilege to be with you this moment, this day. And I have things to share with you that you know not of, don't know where they came from. How can they be? It's a new day, friend. And we are no longer limited to form. And we are breaking out of form. We're growing up, we're maturing, we're understanding, we're communicating with the cosmos, with love's unconditional type. I appreciate you sharing with me some wonderful comments, emails, writing. Some of you have, and thank you. I'm going to share with you here a friend of mine here in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, named Virginia. I'm always talking about writing, picking up your pen and writing the first person words of unconditional love, of creativity, of creatorship, learning to be the creator you are, leading you to come out of your silence. Virginia gave me this a few weeks ago. My love is like the horizon. It has no limits, no boundaries. My love is like an eagle spreading its wings and flying free. My love is wider than any ocean, and deep, deep as the sea. My love is stronger than a mountain. It will survive through eternity. Open up your heart and take me in. Open up your mind to where you have never been. Open up your heart and take me in. Open up your heart and let our love begin. Virginia wrote that and gave it to me a few weeks ago, and I asked her if I could read it. She said, sure. So many of you have so many powerful examples of your creativity. But so many have been void of understanding the religiosity of it, not. Religion has been pushed down our throats in so many ways since we began time, or to exist in time, form, with mental faculties, mental concepts, constructs that other people so willingly wanted to domineer, dominate, control, creating their image of us in us by their words, their behavior. But I deconstruct all mental deities now. And the only deities that exist are in your mind. The whole concept of a sacred divine deity is false. Why deify it? Why deify it? Why set it aside? Why attribute your power to a God anymore? As you are beginning to know, it's you, it's yours. Your power created this. And you have power, and you are not powerless. But the paradigm of powerlessness, the paradigm that constructs another power, superpower, special, divine, special, and even tells us we're not special. Our righteousness is filthy rags and all that sort of garbage. To put us down, put us in our place, to keep us just making babies. I am breaking out of form. I love it. And see, that tells you a lot. It says a lot. And it's not in a religious form. It's not using religion's phrases. I'm breaking out of form. Form. I am amorphous and corporeal, becoming amorphous and corporeal again, which you can relate to John 3:8 in the Bible if you want, but I no longer teach the Bible. I'm no longer trying to connect everything to the Bible to build out of it or build from it or let it give me a foundation for who I am, what I am, where you are, and what you have the ability to produce, create, write. The words of love. First person love, right from your heart. You're creative. I love you into recreating you. What a job. So much of life is embodied in this picture. Whether you call it the authorities, the powers, and the principalities of this world or not. Governments, political systems. Things of this world simply want to control you because we have been taught to control. We've been taught to think in finite terms. We've been taught to be controlled and seduced by the disciples of a deity, divinity. The disciples? Who are the disciples? The procreators of divinity, of a sacred theology. A sacred theology. There is nothing sacred about creation. There's no divine right of kings or divine right of anything else. When you begin to know who you are, you will no longer lift up another over you. You'll no longer be one nation under God. We begin to grow up. We begin to care about each other. This is not a war against heaven and hell. It's not a war. And yet there is conflict, right? The mental acuity, the mental successes, the cognitive powers of the famous minds, the eloquent articulators that tell us how our mind works, how reality is composed of what. But my friend, among it all is more revelation than all of your teachers found in you. If you will believe it not, but if you will become the becomer who sees the pattern of what? The pattern of the firstborn of another race? Jesus the pattern? But wait, not trying to be religious, but not withdrawing from metaphors that can be valuable to us, religious or not. But we're coming out of the control of the church, the authority of the church. Oh my, I've got to turn the heat down. I love you and I thank you and I appreciate you being with me and allowing me the privilege to share with you these things in this process of deconstructing reality, the process of deconstructing the molecular physics, classical physics, a physique that you admire, that you give your life to beguiling, or will you not be the naive anymore that thinks you're in it or that you're it, or are you its creation, or are you the creation of it? Or who's creating who now? This is not double talk, double speak, word salad. These are valid questions. If you are the creator of you, don't you want to know it? Instead of attributing your mental powers, your cognition, paying homage, paying respect to a God you never met, you never saw, but you felt the emotions of, so you wanted to be in what you call some kind of relationship with it. So this little picture is the paradigm of the old, the paradigm of powerlessness, the paradigm of submitting to the authorities of earth, the authority of the molecule, the authority of ignorance. But here, the other side of this little picture, I've shown this several times. I really love this picture. It's the idea of breaking out of form. You, my friend, breaking out of form. Whether you want to call that the resurrection or not, makes no difference to me. You see, we have a choice. All the deities of this world on planet Earth and farther exist in your mind. That's where reality happens. Where you live. Where perception takes place. I'm not looking for millions. I'm looking for one. One, just one. Just one. Because in one, O-N-E, when you really become one with reality, perception, your mind, God's mind. The deified mind, the mind of deity. The mind that doesn't need to be called deity, doesn't even want worship, doesn't want your supplication to be enamored with its power so that you succumb to the powers of man, wanting more paycheck than your month last. Perception, awareness. Consciousness. What gives you your consciousness? What are you aware of? What gives you awareness? What do you perceive? What is perception? Are your perceptive, your powers of perception prescient or paralyzed? Are you just in motion to do everyone else's will, to be their servant, a servant leader, a servant in submission? Using your life for somebody else's dream, somebody else's words, somebody else's book, when you can write your own. I'm writing a new one. So in the year 2000, I self-published my first book. At the time, I called it God in Business. And it's really much more about my path. A book of beginnings, it was my first book. "143 pages. It's out of print now, but I think I'm going to print some more. Why? Because I think there's value. There's value that you, if you choose to, may glean from it to accelerate the operation of your power, of you coming into your leadership. I'm all about leadership. And you beginning to lead you out of where you've been. So mentally confined by the constructs of college, Cardinals, energy, don't you want to know things? Don't you want to know? Why? Why on planet Earth, if we're made up of the great percentage of our physical bodies made up of water, and we have to have water to actually live? Why are all the oceans salt water? You got all these oceans. Everybody needs water. Why are they salt? Oh, you can give some kind of scientific explanation and explain what you want to. You can think things evolved with no source, no force, no God. Explain God away. Or you can have whatever God serves your best interest for you at the moment, no matter what you call. I'm not attacking it. I'm seeing there's more. And this is school. And I am sharing with you as I am in school, a school creating for you to create yours if you choose to. This way, where you begin to ponder, you begin to deconstruct the mental concepts that have confined you, constricted you, conscripted you, given you their playbook, and limited you with their precepts, their principles, their power. But there's more to the story. In grammar school, I think it was once a week, we used to all file into the auditorium to sing. I don't know, half hour, hour. And multiple grades would all file into the auditorium, and there was a pianist and a song leader, and we would sing. But the one song that stood out all these years that I still recall caring for more than any other was Over the Rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. Birds fly, why can't I? Questions. Leaders are taught by questions, not by answers. Oh, yes, we want answers. Yes, and we want to interact with developing answers, developing form. Do answers develop form within our brain, our mental construction machine, giving us perception, sight, awareness, consciousness? What are we doing with our form? The form of our power? Or the power of our form? Love that limits is not unconditional love. Love that wants you to form it is not unconditional love. Love that gives you a list of demands, commands, and is always keeping track of your wrongs, critiquing you. With the possibility of condemnation is not unconditional love. Therefore, I say, God is not love. Certainly not unconditional love. So I'm on a track to become formless. Informing you I am of my formlessness now. My formlessness. My John 3:8-edness. You see the wind. Oh my gosh, here I am quoting a Bible verse. But that's okay. I glean, I draw from sources, resources, whether they're atheistic, agnostic, Gnostic, theosophical, from Madame Blavatsky or whoever. Because I, becoming me, am, I am. With the Force, may the Force be with you. Source. May the Source be with you no longer. May you, my friend, become acquainted, perceiving, perceptive, aware, constructing consciousness. The constructor of consciousness because you choose to with your will, your choice, your power. The power of will, the power of choice, the power to come into the construction of the ability to see things you've never seen, to know the unknowable. So there's no mystery of God anymore. There's no mystery of Christ. There's no divine deity. Like we've been taught that we must submit to. So I'm no longer submitting to that which tells me I have to submit to it. Anybody who tells me to be aware of false teachers. Be aware, be scared. Watch out. Your belief may be fairly delicate. You may not be ready to follow the white rabbit. You may not be able to handle the Truman Show. It may disturb your theology. Or can you see the metaphor? Can you see the allegory? The Truman Show with Jim Carrey is fabulous. Fabulous. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And if you don't see in it what I'm talking about, I invite you to watch it again. Multiple times. To begin to link, to begin to make the linkage, the associations. The harbor craft, the hovercraft. What on your mind? What in your mind can you conceive? The idea, the flotation, levitation, anti-levitation machines, magnetic devices that hold us to Earth. You put a gravity machine into you that would keep your feet attached to Earth, unless you were in some kind of machine called an airplane, helicopter. No longer bound by society, its mores, its cultural values. Are you willing to come into the values of you that you design, where you begin to learn your power and reestablish your identity in formlessness, like the wind? You don't cease to exist without this body. You still exist. And what mind will you have? Think it not robbery to be equal with God? God. But see, God, all these mental constructs that create mental deities, make us a bunch of nothings. Servants of the Most High. All the lingo. All the powerful pictures. The robe, the crown of thorns, blood going down the brow. The cross, the crucifixion. All sorts of icons, rites, and rituals, and swinging lamps, and incense, and cylinders, and books being held high. Why? so people can walk in their robes and you can bow to honor and pay homage. I deconstruct all mental deities, and my name is Theodore Cottingham. And I'm responsible for these words, and I love you, and I'm loving love, and I know the difference because I have channeled for 21 years in a manner, a means, conflict, a lot of times, because I began to see and perceive different things. I began to experience an education that no man can condemn, not, but no man can constrict because it was within me. I began to channel. And what I began to channel were words about the character, the nature of love, love communicating it, asking me to write it, to write the words, to write what I was experiencing, and not shut it down. I went by the name Ted most of my life. So in Database 1, Meonics Covenant, you'll see Ted many times. Ted, please don't shut me down. Don't shut me out. Let me speak like this. Let me speak, let me speak, let me speak the first person words of something that I used to call God. But now I'm sharing with you. I draw from that time, that theory, those experiences. I draw from them. I glean. I gleaned from movies, other books. Someone mentioned the other day the Eureka book. So I went and looked it up, read in it. I have another book I value. I forget. Bringers of the Dawn, I think it is. Very interesting. But if you're afraid of God, if you're afraid to learn, if you're afraid because you choose to have fear of learning, you stagnate, you atrophy, and literally the wounds of your past, the wounds of never being enough, the wounds of not being acceptable, not accepted, of being in lack, of being ignorant of who you are. They render you powerless. But you, my friend, anytime you want to, you can break those strings. The strings that form the web of deceit around your mind to keep you in conformity to its will instead of yours. But you can choose to have the will of the Creator, a new creation. A new creation not limited to form, not limited to earth. No longer based in fear. See, every religion, all religion. Religion dominates. Religion is a control mechanism, a belief system to control, to dominate, to limit. Limit what? The first person words of unconditional love, an absolute truth that cometh from above, not, but comes from where? Another mind, another love, another planet, another solar system, another universe, another energy system. I ask a lot of questions. Because if you're around me, I want you to lead. I want, I desire. My preference? I don't seek a bunch of followers. I've told you that over and over and over. Because I don't seek. It's not that I don't want people to know. It's that I'm not after the uneducated. I'm not after the ignorant. No, I'm not after those who want to protect what they consider their knowledge, their right to think what they want to think, and they want to defend it. They're not interested in new knowledge. If you're not interested in new knowledge, golly, don't come here. Unconditional love doesn't exist between a man and a woman, does it? Or between humans, or does it? Or are you asking? Are you willing to ask? Are you willing to inquire? Where did you come from? Who did you used to be? How many lives have you lived? Why did you form you this way? If you're not willing to ask, your truth is too fragile. Are you willing to be formless? It's a valid question. Incorporeal, amorphous, like the wind. Like the wind. So that if you stand up in a temple and read from Isaiah, and you say, this day, this is fulfilled in your hearing, and all the religious people jump up and down, go mad, enraged, carry you to the outside the edge of the city to throw you off a cliff. And what do? You walk through them. Sound like something from a science fiction movie. You walk through them. How can you walk through them? Walk through the whole crowd. They're enraged. Right. You flip the cloak of invisibility switch. That's not sacrilegious. But what the hell is sacrilegiousness? Blasphemy, heresy, speaking against God. Sacred, divine, fools. Love invites exploration. Unconditional love. See, communicated for years with me about these things, and you can find these words that I'm talking about. You can look them up in the Meonics Covenant. You can go to my website, theodorcottingham.com. And on the little menu, you'll see the Meonics Covenant, channeled by me. And you can go search those words. 2,400 lessons, probably 8,000 or 10,000 pages. So I'm no longer constructing a God theory. I'm no longer limited to that regime, that regimen, those metaphors, that nomenclature. I teach this way because I am this way, because I become this way, because I choose love. Love that said, I will never condemn you. I will never forsake you. I will never leave you. Even if you make your bed in hell, I am there. How can that be? That force, that source, the very life, the essence, is not the stratification of you. is the form of me. Me and my form are one, not, but me and unconditional love is an existence, you see. When people came to Jesus to ask him questions, how did he know what was in their mind? He knew what they were thinking before they said it. Science fiction? Oh, alchemy. Oh, that must be devil worship. Haven't you seen Gulliver's Travel? It's terrific. There's a number of movies out that are about Gulliver's Travels, but one of them, I think the one that I found the best for me was, I think it's the one that has Jack Black in it. And you see everything that the people didn't understand, they classified as demonic. Oh, a little medicine? You heat something up and you put something in water and you create some medicine? No, that's got to be demonic. They were simply ignorant. We've been ignorant. We've been ignorant of who we are. But we're coming off the island. We're no longer listening to be controlled by the words over the loudspeaker, the preachers, the prophet, Christos in the movie Truman Show. Christos? Neo? I love you. Thank you for the privilege of being in my school. But see, it's not really my school. I'm schooling me. You school you. My school teaches you, if anything. If you're here in my school sharing my words, what I'm teaching, it's for you to open yours. The infinite within you. The voice of powerful love, the voice of unconditional love that's not really a voice at all. It's experiential energy, not limited to your particles, your waves, the spin of your molecule, your classical physics. Are you willing to enter the quantum world before you die? The quantum existence, where you can be at war no longer with yourself, no longer at war with what you think is visible empirical reality, no longer at conflict with somebody else's words that you think are special or authoritative. No longer limited to the speed of light. Cosmic leadership. Cosmic leadership is no longer limited to Earth. Why do we want to limit each other, control each other, tear each other's wings off, put each other down, control, elevating our ego, elevating our perception, or our perception, our ego's in control. And then with our great ego, we say, oh, we're not God, but God exists, so we'll submit. and we'll make everybody else submit. Unconditional love does not make you do anything. Unconditional love invites, requests, suggests, puts an idea, drops an idea into your heart, your mind, your consciousness. If you don't shield yourself from it, unconditional love will come every day and commune with you. If you don't protect yourself from unconditional love, what am I saying? We've been morons. We've been ignorant. What do so many people do? As soon as they wake up, cut on the radio, turn on the TV, blare, 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 news, politics, conflict, visualizations, assaulting our perception, our perceptibility. But you don't have to live that way. You don't have to live limited to your 5 sense mind. And this is the invitation not to come to an altar, not to accept Jesus or a religion. I invite you to begin an exploration, to begin an adventure, where you begin to ponder these things in your heart. Just like the angel may have told Mary in that story, that narrative. Ponder. Oh, you want to pray about it? Okay, pray. Who are you going to pray to? What is that prayer doing to you? That proliferation of words to condone, condemn, to enter the presence of God, a deity, a superpower. One of the Marvel ones? Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not making fun. I don't mean to disparage. But I invite leadership to be formed in you, where you don't cast yourself into the form of other people's wants, where you no longer buy into the story, women, that you're made from the rib of a man, that you no longer submit yourself to patriarchy, any kind of patriarchy. You know more. And you become no longer wounded by the ignorant who try to put you in your place, who try to keep you silent in the church, or keep you silent, keep you out of the club, the men's cave. You can know a lot of things and begin to experience a lot of things with no more the emotional wound, the hurt, the chakra system inflicting its power upon your psyche. Psyche? Your mental faculty. Your neurons? That thing between your ears? You have the power of you. And my friend, no matter what name you bear, no matter what marks you carry in your body, no matter how you have been abused by mankind, or what you thought was evil, or God or anything else. I invite you to see another story and decompartmentalize, degraphicalize, change your eyes, change your hearing, change your comprehension ability. I will not leave you as an orphan. The source of force is not unconditional love. Source love, source of unconditional love, that will teach you directly in the school of leadership, the school of Meonics, the school of learning love directly, learning how to lead. You learning how to lead you first, how to think about you when you look in your mirror, brush your teeth, lay down at night. How you become so powerful, you begin cutting off that TV. So powerful that it's not a problem for you to cut off the radio, to cut off all the voices that tell you you're shit, that you're a worm, that your righteousness is filthy rags, and demand that you obey it and tell you what to do, tell you to submit to its will. No, my friends, we are deconstructing mental deities to see, to find, to understand, to experience our own reality, constructing us again, rather than all of these narratives, rather than all of these stories, all of these books that have been so condemned or so called sacred or not. Be not fearful of fear. Be not afraid of sudden fear. Be not afraid of fear at all. There's no fear in perfect love. You are so powerful. You can change your input. You are so powerful. You can change your output. You are so powerful. You can change your form. You are so powerful. You can change what forms you and informs you and holds you back. For I am the creator of you. Not, but you are. And what you create between your ears, you see, feel, and become. I'm no longer a worm in your hot ashes, writhing in pain because of the wounds of your words and what you think I should do and how I should vote or how I should work for some rich man. I raise up leaders. I, Theodore Cottingham, I raise up leaders because I teach leadership for you to come into the power, the exercise, not of religion, but the understanding, the perception, the awareness, the conscious creation of your will to no more be formed by another will. But you, in your source of unconditional love, begin to form you and create a new you. A life without sin. Damn sin. Sin is a concept. All of these mental anxieties, mental confusion, mental complexity, mental, psyche, psychosis. You are more than what you seem to be. And this is my message. This is about Meonics, the real me, the real me. Because when I see the real me not limited to flesh, I see you. And torment no more of your own mind. You begin to no longer limit you. You can call it Satan. You can call it the accuser of the brethren. You can call it the beast in the pit of hell. What is the beast? The seven-headed beast, the beast. Revelation, the beast. It's your mind, your chakras, your soul. But the revelation of who you are is coming now to a close, not the revelation of who you are is creating the new beginning for you. If you will be in my school to open your school. Or was it your school that I'm in? Or is it ours? Or is it one? One school, one mind, one love, unconditional. No longer limited to form. Let us be about our Father's business no more, or anyone else's business. Let us start our own, create our own. How creative are you? You want to sell your art? Sell your writing? You want to write a book? You want to start a school? You want to sell courses? You want to start education? You have plans for a widget? Wow, you're an engineer? You're a teacher. You're no longer a condemner? You're coming out of condemnationhood? Wow, yay. You're no longer critiquing you and everybody else and comparing you to every other person you see on the street and what they're wearing and whether you measure up in their eyes or not? Great. There's hope for mankind? No. There's hope for religion no more. Religion will no more construct us in its image to tell us in the beginning there was some sacred divine deity that controls everything that we're supposed to submit to. We no longer buy into that narrative. We begin to love. We begin to love unconditionally. We begin to be motivated by something else. Rather than conflict, fear. Fear of lack. There is no lack. In the kingdom of God, kingdom of righteousness, the kingdom is within you. How do you get there? It's in your mind. Or is it your mind? Is it your mind? Your mind is both heaven and hell at the same time? Well, that sounds like war. Who's winning? Where are your words coming from? If your words are coming from outside of you, I can tell you who's winning. You're being formed by the word of the news, the word of the teachers, the word of the department of control. But if your words are sourced from within you, you have the power to perceive a perception that can never control your life again like this. And this is why I teach what I teach, how I become what I am. And I am a woman in childbirth. The seed of religion will quench the child of the chosen one no more. For I choose me, and I ask you to choose you. I ask you to come as a child to the one inside you that is you, the power of light, love, peace, and joy. Whether you call it Atman, Brahman, no matter what your name for all these religious concepts are. I ask you, I invite you, in the power of unconditional love, to begin to create you with your will, your mentality, your power, your love, to be the unconditional kind for you first, where you begin to see your leadership and no longer think of you as a woman married under a man or a woman made from a rib. You no longer buy any of that because you're not at war. You begin to appropriate, elevate, exist, speak words of pure love light as you ponder the seed of being you, no longer limited to flesh, becoming like the wind, doing things you never imagined, operating in business, connecting with other worlds. It's time. And this is my message. I love you. I love you. I love you, Igor, Karen, Gary, Carrie, Yvette, Bill, Judy, Tabitha. Pardon me, mirror your love no more to another that has been given to you to beguile you. Know the difference. Emanate from within. Your education begins. Your education begins when you choose to begin it. Your new life of the new beginning begins with a smile, with a laugh, with love, with a letter, with a poem, with a devotion, with a prayer that you write out, that you ponder. There's creativity within you that cannot be stymied by original sin. Sin entered in the world, or did separation, or did religion? The Antichrist is religion that tells you you're not the creator. I love you all. I go now. For the moment, there is no lack. There are no feeble. There's only ignorance. And now ignorance will be abated, light will emerge. Mary will bring forth a child. Mary, I'm asking you to. I'm asking you to bring forth the chosen one, no matter what your name for it, no matter what you call it in any religion or any language. The metaphor, emerge now You're no longer limited to being underneath your rainbow. You're no longer limited to your visible energy spectrum, that little slice of visible empirical energy spectrum that we see with. You're no longer limited to the two eyes in your head or the two ears. You're no longer limited to your five sense mind. If you will deconstruct all of your limitations. And when you begin to love infinitely, you begin to lack no good thing. You're no longer asking God for favor. You're no longer begging from the rich man's table. You're creating an existence, and there's a new beginning for you if you will begin it. It's not based on belief. It's based on action. Pick up your pen. Write a poem. Write me. Write me, Box 34 in Eureka Springs. Write me, Theodore Eureka at Gmail. Write me. Write a poem. Write me, write you. Write your loved ones. Write love. Create a course. Create a course? Yep. Meonics. Create a course in Meonics, you, my friend, where you begin to teach it. Begin a fellowship group. Begin a dinner group. Weekly? Monthly? Just start. This is a school of leadership. Passive no more. Pastor the past in you no more. And no more be put out to pasture. The original source of one, with all love, perfected by mankind, shall no more be a mental concept. For we are creating the creators who are us, recreating us to be our original before we ever fell out with each other. We wanted to exalt ourselves, our space, our place. But now, love prevails and presents you an option, invites you into the holiest place of all, the place where you ponder you. I love you. I go now. It's been nice being with you. Thank you for sharing. Pick up your pen. Write. Outline. Outline these words. Transcribe them. Download them. Act. It's action. Belief won't get you to where you want to be. It won't get you into the kingdom. Belief will land you in a casket. But when you're ready to act, to become who you really are, motive leads. And motive is not silent. And motive is not entangled with the words of mankind's mind, of psychology, psychosis, and memories of the past. It's not subject to all that. I love you. I go now. I'm a simple guy. Theodore Cottingham. I love you. And I create. I create. I have enjoyed creating artwork. No matter what you call it, pictures. I'm not an engineer. I don't understand a lot of things. I don't understand electricity. But I understand love. At least the beginning to be where I am now. And I create a business. I create businesses. I am not nonprofit. I do not solicit your donations. I'm not a charity. I'm not in submission to you or any system that puts people in position to beg. The creatorship of one is coming forth, and the chosen one who will be it, who will be you, if you will ponder and bring forth a new creation that's you. I've created a lot of pictures. Look at all these. These are just the ones I printed. I've created a lot more. I've interacted as I have created with them. Creating pictures of creation. Pictures of the school. Pictures to where we're no more led by this stuff. Wondering if it's the voice of God, the voice of Satan, or what voice is telling us to do what when. So here's a whole. I'm going to make some of these available for sale, for purchase. I stumbled into meeting somebody to print them. Fortuitous? It was God's will. No, it wasn't God's will. I'm not looking for God's will anymore. Let us come out of the God construct, the deification of power. Let us lay down the deification of power. Lay down the idea of divinity. You, my friend, you are the holiest of all. And when you begin to come into the holy place and write your poems, create pictures, do your artistry, invent widgets. My son is an engineer. He creates and does things almost unfathomable. I bet you do too. Release. Ponder. And don't sit under other people's pontificating anymore. Be the real you. You're the one. I choose you. I choose you. The one. I look for the one. You know there's more. You know there's more. You feel it. It's closer than your breath. Closer than your breath. Because it's not dependent on your neurons to perceive it. So it's not slow like the speed of light. And this is what we're coming into. This is what we're understanding. The new birth as the birth of a new creation. The new creations that's us. All beginning with a new mind, that has never been limited, that you come into and commune with across the heavens, around the world, throughout the cosmos, and farther. This is where we're going. This is why this school exists, and how love has been birthed again in the earth, to tell you to be it and offer you a path, a plan, the Maonics covenant. And here I am, a simple guy with wings. Now you see me, now you don't. Have fun with love this day. Ponder these things. Become breaking out of form, giving birth to religion no more to keep us here. I love you. Theodore Cottingham in Eureka Springs, theodorcottingham.com. Membership, you're invited. Explore. Go find out what it is, how it works. Help me create. Help me create this school that you're in, that you're creating at the same time, to be one. Mortal, no more limited to. The immortal, eternal, infinite. Imperative of one, be the real you. I go. See you later. Thanks again for sharing this time. Share your love. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't. Subscribe to my email list on my website if you haven't. I send out little notes here and there. And become a member if you like of this school. But by all means, be the chosen you. And most of all, love the one in your mirror, the real you. See you all.